Hello, everyone. My name is Dan. I'm a mental health therapist who is really into tech stuff, home automation, fun little things. And I am going to do an unboxing and a short review of this product that I backed about 7 to 9 months ago on Kickstarter called Chonker Keys. I'll explain more about what it is. If you already here, you probably know what it is, so I won't belabor that with you at the moment. But we'll get on to it real quick. I bought this because I thought with all of the video chats we were going to be doing, all the Zooms, this would be really helpful because it gives you really big buttons to mute and play your videos. And so it gives you all these these big buttons to pause and start your video and chat and all this stuff for people that have to leave quickly and can't find the buttons on the screen very quickly. And I thought that would be really cool. And so it gives you all these buttons and big buttons and opportunities for you to turn on your mic and turn it off and turn on your video really quickly without having to fumble with a mouse or the keyboard combinations. And so it looks like this in the box. I thought this box was I thought they did the packaging really well. I actually bought 2 of these because I was so sold on the product that I was like, this is going to be really helpful because I do video at work as a therapist. I do video in my private practice as a therapist. And I was like, having these in 2 different places is going to be super easy. I'm going to pull this off the desk so that I can get it out of here. Hold on. And so since I backed it, since I thought it was really cool, I thought I'd give it a shot. If you know what Chonker Keys is, I don't have to tell you much about it, but if you don't know what Chonker Keys is, I encourage you to go to the website chonkerkeys.com and watch some videos. It's got some really great explanations of what it does and why it's helpful. I'm going to pull it out here. I thought they did a good job communicating with everybody. They did a great job of keeping everybody updated. And here it is. So if they were to do something again, if this company were to do something again along this vein or something else that I thought would be useful, I would be happy to back them again, just because they just did a great job of doing stretch goals and keeping us updated about what's going on. The stretch goals are really cool. They give us lots of bonuses. Like here's a bonus for extra keycaps here that I'm going to apply for. And so I think it's super cool. I'm gonna get that and hopefully use this. So I'm gonna just pull this out here. And here it is. Here's Chonker Keys. And there's a good reason why they call it Chonker Keys, because these keys are big and chonking. Like, my hand's pretty big for a guy that's 6 foot tall. And these, you can see how big these keys are. So inside of the box, they give us a USB cable, a USB-A to USB-C, this little tool that helps you pull off the keys that I'll show you in a moment, and then some extra keys like record, thumbs up, and chat. Come back that in a moment. Okay. So the main idea here is that you have these big old keys that are designed to just help you navigate your online meeting easily and effectively without having to fumble with a mouse. That way you can mute with this button, turn the microphone on and off while you have to sneeze or cough, or if your cat comes by or your kiddo comes by and you need to turn your camera on, or off real fast, you can just hit it there. If you want to raise your hand, you can hit that. You can raise or lower the volume. Here are some media keys here, and if you want to share your screen, you can do that. And as the bane of everybody's existence, you can just hit leave meeting, and it'll just leave the meeting. Believe it or not. And I think that's pretty cool, because I always hated leaving a meeting, and then it's like, are you sure you want to leave the meeting? And then it goes like, are you really sure you want to leave the meeting? And then it's like, and then it leaves. But by that time, you're the last one to leave the meeting. And for some reason, everybody else on that meeting has been able to leave a lot sooner than you have. And you just are just fumbling there. And, you know, if you were really on top of it, you'd be the first one to leave the meeting, because really, who wants to be there in the first place? Now, some really great things about this. This thing is configurable. Well, the first thing really is that there are two versions of this. I've got the really big version of it. There's a smaller version that I think is just 8 keys, or I think it's just like that much. I got the big one because I like the ability to customize. And so that's what I'm going to show you here. Now, it's not plugged in, as you can see, but when you plug it into the computer, and you use these keys, they all light up. There are little rings around here. I'm going to just pop one of these guys off here. Right. You see this ring around here? That lights up. So, pretty simple concept. They saw a need. They met a need for people who don't want to mess with the mouse, want to be able to do this a lot faster, need bigger ideas, bigger keys to be able to press and do it a lot more quickly, especially if you're spending a lot of time on the videos. Having these rings light up is a really great idea. Also, having these keycaps, as I've already showed once, removable and changeable, is really smart. That way you can configure whatever keycap you want. I'm not going to go into the software that they developed to manage all this, but it's pretty simple. But what I want to show is what I think is one of their really greatest accomplishments is the configuration part of this. Is these things are super easy to get off and get back on. You just pop it back on there, and there it's good to go, right? So if you don't like it in this configuration, let's just say you want this over here and that over here for some reason, like, and there's better ways to do this, obviously, but you can do that. That's fantastic, right? Like, you can configure it however you want. If you want this on this side, you can do that. There you go. And you can orient it this way, and you can reorient these guys to be this direction if you want. Super, super great. And I really like it. I think it's very, very clever. And they really saw a need and met it. Now this is going to be upside down, but you can reorient these. You can reorient these keycaps, of course. And as you saw, they gave me 3 more of these things right here. 3 more of these little modules that I can just put in there. So if I want to get rid of these ones, I don't like those, and I want more buttons, I can add those buttons. Add key, right? I want that. And you're like, Dan, but what about the video key and the microphone key? You can have those, right? But you have to use these instead, and then assign these keys to be the video and mic. So that's the downside right now. It says if I wanted my video and mic key to be smaller, I can do that, but I but I don't have the keycaps to go with it. So as part of something that Chonker Keys could do a little bit better is include some smaller keycaps for these in the next iteration of this, so that they can have the big one versions or the small versions. I'm someone who likes a lot of options, and so I don't. And these are plenty big for me. So these are plenty big for me. So I don't need bigger ones. In fact, I could probably do a small one and another button here, so that this could be leave meeting, and then I could have another button here, so that I would have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 buttons. If I could get 3 more of these, I could just make all of these and change one of them just to leave meeting. But of course, I need a smaller leave meeting button, or I have to find some way to identify this keycap as a leave meeting button. So some room for improvement, but also lots of capability to improve and to customize, and I really like that. You can change the LED light. You can change the LED light on these things here for when they're activated and when they're not activated. That's super cool. So again, very simple product. It works well. Here are some downsides here. When they first developed this, I told them, don't use clicky keys. I don't know if you can hear this. Can you hear this? See that? I was like, don't use clicky keys. Usually red keys are silent. So I don't know how they got a blue click on a red stem, but they did. And that was like, you shouldn't do that. I actually asked them not to do that, but they went ahead and did that. And the reason why I don't think that is necessary is because, or good, is because you don't want to hear clicks on your video. Like, hey, having the tactile feedback is fantastic. I love that, but you can have the tactile feedback without the click. And don't get me wrong, when I'm typing, I love the click, but this kind of product, I just want it to be silent. So I really wish they had gone with browns instead of a clicky one, so that you could feel the tactile feedback. But the very cool thing about this is, if you are nerdy enough like I am, these are hot swappable. And you can just pull these out, which is probably what I'll do, and I'll put some old browns in there. And that will be just fine. And I'll just use these somewhere else. I don't know where else I'll use these, but maybe I'll use them somewhere else. But that way I have a silent version of this, and that's what I think should have come in the first place. It's a minor gripe, but still one that I wish they had addressed when I talked to them about it to begin with. And they were asking for feedback. The other thing is when I got this, I knew it was going to be big before I got it, but I guess I didn't realize it was going to be this big. And if you're looking for something this big, and you just want to be able to like press pause, press play, press video on or off, this is fantastic. But it does take up a large amount of desk real estate. I mean, let's look at this. This is my mouse, right? That's my mouse, and it's huge comparatively, right? This is my my very large numpad, and it takes up a lot of space on there. And so you would kind of need to mount this. I don't think that they're mounted. Yeah, they are. See, they're mounting things in the back, so you can mount it and get it out of the way. But if you don't mount it, it's going to take up a lot of room on your desktop. And a lot of times that's not even, that's not possible. You don't have that kind of room. And so if you get this, just beware, especially the Max version of it, which is what this is. it's gonna take up a lot of room on your desktop. So if you're using a lot of video, if you're on the video all the time, this is worth getting. It's great, but it does take up a lot of desk room. So I think that is it at the moment. I think I would add one other thing, and that is when I backed this and they were asking backers for feedback. One of the things that I asked them for is like, I want to be able to customize this for lots of different apps, and of course they were very adamant about making sure that things like Zoom, primarily Google Meet, Skype, and a couple of other ones worked natively, and some of them work great, some of them work only half good, and if you need to check whether or not your preferred meeting platform is supported fully by this, because it may or may not be. But they do have the option for making these applicable or usable for other areas of your operating system, and so you can increase or decrease volume, pause, play, record. You can buy other keycaps here and use these for other things in your arsenal at home, whether or not you like to just pause and play YouTube videos or Netflix, or you're using it to do some recording or stuff. That would be helpful. I don't know that it would be great for recording, honestly speaking, if you are actively recording, because you hear and you don't want that to show up on your audio file, right? So that's not great. But big, easy keys that you can press once and you don't have to search for it. It's great. It's great for that. So there are possibilities. I also note that they suggest that you could use it for a space bar, maybe. I don't know. You can do whatever you want with that big one. Cut, copy, maybe paste, undo, save, right? You can set it up for lots of different shortcuts. You could probably do new browser window or close browser window, or any number of things for that. What I found, though, is that this is only half what I wanted. It takes up a lot of screen real estate. It would be better if you could like set it up on a tripod, so it only like takes up a little bit of space. If they had just put a little tripod on the back here, that would have been fantastic. But they didn't. And so it just lays flat on your desk here. But it's a little bit too big for me. I think it's a great product. It's just too big for me. What I wish I had known about before backing this, or really understood the power of, was Stream Deck. Not Steam Deck, not Valve's new console, but Stream Deck, which is a thing that's about that big, I guess, and it comes with 15 little buttons that are all LEDs, and you can program for almost anything under the sun, like home automation, and the buttons change dynamically based on what you set it up for. So you're not stuck with like a button that is just this right here, and you just have to deal with it, right? Or imagine what it would be. No, you can go into Steam Deck and change it up. And now, granted, the buttons are smaller, but I don't need a big button personally. I just wanted a variety of options. And so while I kind of like the big buttons, I prefer the variety of options. So that doesn't mean that this is a bad product. This is a good product, really well built, very clever in its design. I mean, I just like the little modules and how you can change the orientation, and you have different ways to connect. It's just really thoughtful. The build quality is fantastic. And so this is not a bad product just because, even though it's not the product for me personally, but I'm going to find a way to utilize this somehow, whether it's using it for pause and play and rewind um, uh, while I'm playing bass or something like that, or practicing, or some other thing, even if I don't use it for video. I think it could be really a fun uh, thing, especially if they do upgrades. If they were to do like an upgrade with knobs, that would be super cool, right? So that you could just dynamically turn volume up and down, turn brightness up and down, just right here. You just put a little knob right there, and do that, because having the knob allows you to scrub back and forth. It allows you to turn the brightness of things up and down, like just change. It allows so many different types of dynamic things, and you can get rid of 2 buttons here. You can make one knob that takes 1 space, and use it for volume and mute. Like if you could press it, right? You press mute, and you just turn this on and off. Like you could use the mute button to mute the microphone, and then use the volume knob to just turn up your volume up and down, and you could eliminate 3 different spaces and then open it up for more. So I think that should be the next step, is where they allow you to upgrade with a module for knobs. I'm sure there are other upgrade modules that would be really great, but I can't think of any right now. At any rate, I'm really grateful that you watched today. Thank you for taking the time to look at this. I appreciate your feedback if you have anything to leave in the comments, and hope you have a great day.